We are now several days away from the worst of it, the most devastating and deadliest flood, certainly, of my lifetime. And I thank everybody here, both our local leaders and all our volunteers. And I want to thank our young adults that are here, Kentuckians, showing up to help their community, help their friends. We've got a couple of sports teams. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for living our faith and our values and being there for your community. As we sit here this morning, we've lost 37 Kentuckians. Those are our friends and our neighbors. They are children of God, every single one of them, irreplaceable. We will grieve with their families. Come on up, Angie. It's our state representative. We will grieve with their families, but we will also help get them on their feet. Here in Kentucky, we are good people. We open our hearts and our homes to one another, and that's what you're seeing here today in Shelby Valley Elementary. You're seeing a school, which is always a beacon of light in the darkness, turned into a staging area where we can make sure people have water, that they have the cleaning supplies, and ultimately the food that they need. This has devastated portions of eastern Kentucky. Property damage the likes of which we have never seen, and we are going to be not only searching for people, probably for weeks to come, but we're going to be rebuilding for at least a year to come. But our commitment, my commitment as governor, is we're going to be here every single day with you, every week, every month, and every year, no matter how many it takes to rebuild every life, every business, and every structure. That is our commitment. You deserve nothing less. And I hope the world sees not just the devastation, but sees strong people looking out for one another. I was in Letcher County with Angie just 2 days ago, watching people clean out homes that had been devastated. I talked to one of them. Her home was 2 up, already destroyed. She was helping out her neighbor when easily could have been sitting there looking at what she had lost. That is who we are. I need to thank a lot of people. I got to start with the Kentucky National Guard, best guard in this country. They've been out there making air rescues more than anyone ever thought was possible. I'm proud of them. Right now, they are in trucks bringing more water to communities than I think we've ever seen, and we're going to continue to deliver water until people tell us they have way too much. That's our goal, because it's about to get really hot. We dodged additional flooding last night. We could have some scattered storms today, but our next major concern is how hot it's going to get. That's why we have cooling centers open in every impacted community. We need to get the word out there. We don't want to lose one more person because of weather that's coming. Let's make sure we take care of one another. I got to thank local law enforcement and first responders, emergency management, sheriff's office, police, Kentucky State Police, Fish and Wildlife. Fish and Wildlife's been out there making boat rescues, and sadly, they found most of the bodies. They deserve our support, and so many others. But you know who's made more saves than any of those groups put together? Our people's neighbors, our other Kentuckians, wading through the water, making sure that they can get people to safety. And while we've lost 37 people, we've only lost 4 children thus far. And if we can find a blessing in the midst of loss, that is one. I was in Knott County at the site they were swept away. And the grief is palpable there, just like it's palpable here. But we will get back on our feet. Yes, we get knocked down. It's okay to not be okay. It is okay to not be okay. But we get back up, and we lean on one another, and we carry each other's grief, and we are going to make it through this. We got some good news today for Pike County. President, this morning, signed the documentation to provide through FEMA individual assistance to Pike County and also added Floyd. That is now 7 counties. They're going to have to go through a process that is too complicated. We're going to help everybody. but it's going to mean that dollars are there for individuals to help them start rebuilding. We are grateful for that, and this is the fastest I've seen individual assistance granted after a natural disaster. Admittedly, when I had an opportunity to talk to the president, he said, whatever you need. I said, Mr. President, I need individual assistance. Dollars flowing in each of these counties. In the 5 first counties that were granted individual assistance, we already have a FEMA site today processing people. Again, faster than I think we've ever seen. We are working on that in Pike County right now. And our commitment is to bring every other service to that location so that when you come in to start your claim, you can also get that driver's license you've lost. You can get the title to your car if your car's still around, redone, and we're going to work to make sure nobody has to pay any fees or anything else to do that. We've also started a fund. I know there are a number of them in Eastern Kentucky. They're all going to be doing good work. It's the Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund. It's got a little over $2 million in it right now. We're going to start by paying for each and every funeral, every single one, to make sure that we grieve together and no family has to come out of pocket right now when they don't have a house, they don't have belongings, and they have lost loved ones. I want to thank all our volunteers that are here today. I want to thank all our local leaders. I want to thank everybody. There's no red or blue. There's no Team Democrat or Republican. There's just Team Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky that are here, and that's the way it's going to be. Until we are fully back up on our feet, and God willing, that's the way it's going to be from here on. To the people of the region, I love you. This whole state loves you. And we're going to do whatever it takes, no matter how long, to do everything we can to repair every single bit of damage. I want to turn it over to County Judge Executive Ray Jones. He was on the phone with me from the moment this started, early in the morning while it was still dark. Actually, we were losing service because he was out watching the water rise. I appreciate his leadership, and let me tell you, he advocated for you. The first moment the counties got qualified for individual assistance, Ray was burning up my phone. And I said, Judge, we will get it. We will get it. And he said, okay, I've got trust and faith in y'all. And Judge, I'm glad that we could ultimately deliver. I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate your county court. I appreciate everybody standing behind me. They have all been in the trenches, in the mud, helping out. We are strong Kentuckians, and these folks show it. Judge.
Thanks, Judge. Appreciate you. First of all, let me say, we're doing everything we can to help our communities recover. And this flood it's hit close to home because, as many of you know, I grew up in this community. On May 7th, 1984, my parents' business flooded. We didn't have flood insurance. I lived through a flood cleanup my freshman year of high school, and I thought it was devastating. But we have areas that are just massively devastated here in Pike County. The one blessing is we did not have any loss of life. That is truly remarkable given the amount of water and how fast it came up. We are working closely with the Beshear administration, FEMA, the Red Cross, and all of the volunteer groups such as the Southern Baptist Convention to try to expedite flood relief. I was standing at the mouth of Long Fork Thursday morning as we were watching the water come up, and my cell phone rang, and it was Governor Beshear. And he asked what we needed, and I said, the first thing we're going to need is water. And Governor, before the end of the day, we had 2 tractor trailer loads at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. Everything that this administration could do to help us, they've done it. Our first responders, I can't speak volumes enough about our first responders. Pike County Technical Rescue, the Coal Run Fire Department. Mayor Jimmy Carter and the Pikeville City Commission had 3 of their swift water rescue teams from the Pikeville Fire Department here. Millard Fire and Rescue. We had all of our volunteer firefighters out in force, and they saved lives. We had structure fires in the Joe Nancy community taking place at the same time that they were still trying to perform swift water rescues. And only by the grace of God did we not have loss of life here in Pike County. We have been through a lot here. This is the 4th disaster declaration for flooding that I have declared since February of 2021. And we have been through a lot. The Pike County Road Department, Fabian Little, and all the employees, they have worked tirelessly. Our emergency management staff, we have the best emergency management staff in Kentucky, in my opinion. In just a second, I'm going to turn it over to Nee Jackson. If you're watching this and you need assistance, the number to call is 432-0210. Whether you need water, you need food, you need assistance with a road problem, another number is 437-4126. Those are the two numbers, 432-0210 and 437-4126. We are coordinating all the recovery efforts with every 8:30 every morning. We're having a meeting with all of our staff and all the volunteers. This is going to be a long road in terms of recovery. We have massive damage to county infrastructure. We still have families that are trapped because their bridges have been washed away. We still have numerous people who do not have water, and we're working hard to make sure those needs are met. Again, if you need assistance, if you will call our Emergency Operations Center, they will get the help to you. It's 606-432-0210. I also want to thank Reed Atkins for his work. He has, every time we've had a natural disaster, Mr. Atkins or Dr. Atkins and the Pike County Board of Education, they've been there. Johnny Alvin, the principal at this school, they've been feeding families, they've been feeding volunteers, they've been feeding workers. And for all the volunteers here, thank you. God bless you. We couldn't do this without you. I do want to say that this is the fastest that I have ever seen in my time in government that individual assistance has been declared. I reached out, I've talked to the White House's emergency disaster coordinator. They promised us help, and the White House delivered. And again, it's truly remarkable for us to be declared for individual assistance in 5 days. And I can tell you, that would not have happened but for Andy Beshear. Governor, thank you again. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Nee Jackson, who is the Emergency Management Director for the Pike County Fiscal Court. Nee.
Thank you, Judge. Judge kind of stole my thunder a little bit. Those phone numbers, 432-0210, 437-4126. If you need any services at all, every morning we have a briefing at 8:30. We get all of our shareholders together. If you're a shareholder or you'd like to be, meet at our Emergency Operations Center at 172 Division Street, 4th floor. We're meeting every single morning. We also have a Zoom link. If you would like to be involved in that Zoom link, you can also call our office. We're wanting to speak one voice. We don't want to duplicate any services, and we want to take care of every single individual out there. And that's the reason that we want to meet every day, put our heads together, see what one resource that someone else has that another one doesn't, and we're gonna put boots on the ground. We've got people in side-by-sides delivering. The guard just came in with some additional help this morning. So we're gonna be going door to door, making sure that we're getting to those folks that don't have means to be able to come to shelters, to be able to come to distribution centers. Our mass distribution center receiving is at the East Kentucky Expo Center and the Riverfield parking lot there. So if you have a palleted mass distribution that you would like of supplies, come to the East Kentucky Expo Center. Appalachian Wireless Arena, which is at 126 Main Street. But you can call our office, 432-0210. We have the former Emergency Management Director, Doug Tackett, is coordinating all the volunteers. So if it's someone that wants to come in from out of state that is volunteering services, if they have supplies that they're wanting to volunteer, if they want to come in and do work in homes, call, ask for Doug Tackett. He'll get you with the right people teamed up and we can get these folks taken care of. Thank you, and I appreciate. We're all going to have one voice, and we're all going to go home every evening safely. Angie Hatton.
You can't see me behind podiums. I'll get on my tiptoes. If you live here, you already know that there are no better people in the world than right here in the mountains of eastern Kentucky. If you're visiting, or if you are watching this on television or on the internet, look around. These are the best people in the world. We're on day 6 of what is definitely the worst thing that's ever happened to our community over in Letcher County. When I woke up Thursday morning, we didn't have cell phone signal or Wi-Fi, but what became immediately apparent is that the water was rising so fast that my family and I spent most of Thursday finding kayaks in everyone's backyard, even people who were on vacation, jet skis, john boats with trolling motors, anything we could find that floated, begging for life jackets and rescuing neighbors off roofs. Every single destroyed home you see is a heartbreaking tragedy, but also a story of a hero. And I wish I had time to write a book, maybe one of these days I can, about all the stories I've heard of heroic rescues. And as soon as the rescue effort was over that day, the immediate threat rescue, then we set up volunteer distribution centers at our high school, at our churches, at our community centers, and we have spent the last 6 days around the clock taking in donations from big-hearted people around the state and around the country. And I have to say that I don't know of anybody that gave more to us than Pike County. Pike County has the tragedies that they're dealing with. I'm going to get out today and see all of those sites that I can. But for Letcher County, which was hit the hardest we've ever been, the worst flood we ever had before now was 1957 when the Kentucky River crested at 14.5 feet. Thursday it crested at 21 feet, almost 7 feet higher than any flood we've ever had. So we were taken completely off guard. Pike County has sent love and support and supplies and volunteers by the dozens, and they have been amazing, especially the teenagers. I think we should have maybe cut off their Wi-Fi a long time ago because they've all found new purpose, and you can see it in their eyes. I mean, these kids are looking for careers in nonprofit now. They're so touched, and they've been so amazing. And I want you to know that as soon as I got Wi-Fi service back on Thursday, I had a message from Governor Beshear. I had a message from Rocky Adkins. I had messages from everybody else in his administration, from Energy Environment to Department of Local Government, offering us help. He has done executive orders, bent every rule he can, and begged, broken a few. I know of a few rules that have been broken locally as well, but for good reasons, and begged for assistance. We've got to streamline our FEMA process. It's a wonderful resource, but it isn't fast enough. Everything that can be done at the state level and at the local level is being done. Our road departments had no idea what heroes they were. We lost our entire road department, all of our equipment. We lost 6 police cruisers. We've had them donated from other cities. Police cruisers. We've had ambulances donated from other rescue services, fully stocked. What do you need? Sending it to us. We will be recovering from this for a long time. This is by no means over. We will need your help. Everyone who can hear me, please do what you can. I know that you will. Kentuckians always do. And make no mistake, we will find the resources and we will rebuild our little communities come hell or high water.
Yeah, thanks, Angie. I want to do one last thing this morning, and then we'll open it up for questions. We haven't heard from volunteers in any of these that we've done. The people that are actually packing up supplies, handing them over to people who are in need. And we've got 2 of our folks from the girls basketball team that are here with their entire team today, loading up people's cars, living out their faith and values. I want the world to see what great people they are. Come on up. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Jasmine Mead.
I'm Zoe Johnson. Things have been hard. Everybody's lost things that just that can't be replaced, just memories, valuables. It's devastating. You drive up Long Fork or any other holler up this place and there's bridges down. Everybody's lost their homes, their vehicles, just everything, and it's heartbreaking.
And I just like to see their smile on their face. I think it's a blessing for them. And my neighbor, she told me about how she hasn't been able to cook herself a meal. And to see a smile on her face when we was able to deliver that to her, it was, God's good.
All right. I'd end by telling a story from yesterday. Yesterday, I was checking on the West. Now, with devastating tornadoes 7.5 months ago, we'd made the commitment that we're making to this county and every other, that we're going to be here every month and every year that it takes. And I stopped by the city of Marion. It's in Crittenden County, and they've been under a water crisis, a serious and significant water crisis for months. And you know what they wanted to talk to me about? The flooding right here. They were in the process of surplusing some of their government vehicles that they were going to drive up here to help this and other counties. That is a city that is still under a state of emergency that's trying to help. Pretty special. We'll open it up for questions. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the process for available, and also can you mention how many rescues that have been made so far in the state?
So we know that we are over 1,300 rescues between National Guard and other groups, but thousands more than that by neighbors, friends, local law enforcement. Thank you to the sheriff and everybody else. We're going to learn about tens of thousands of these stories as we move forward. And listen, Angie Hatton was pulling people off their roof. And so while I'm proud that I'm not sure at any disaster you could think of, you'd see 1,300 plus rescues by Guard or police or the rest. What our regular citizens have done is nothing short of heroic and amazing. And every single person out there, whether they pulled somebody out of the water or whether they are loading up a car with stuff, is a hero. And we love them for it. What was the other part of the question?
Can you talk about the
Yes.
process for the individual assistance, please?
So individual assistance is now available in 7 counties, Floyd and Pike being the newest one. You can start your claim right now by going on disasterassistance.org, by calling the FEMA hotline, which will get you. But within a day, we think we are going to have a set location where people can come in and talk to people face to face. It is not an easy process. I would recommend talking directly to a FEMA person, even if it's just starting your claim online. Make sure you do that. We've also been promised people in the field. When 7 months ago, we had them out there with tablets, walking house to house, making sure that they get the pictures and everything else. And I personally asked the president that FEMA do a little bit better this time on the number of people that are ultimately approved. I've talked to the head of FEMA, that's the administrator. I've talked to our regional head on that, and I'm going to continue to push it. So we will have a location out for FEMA as soon as it is set, and then our goal is to have the transportation cabinet there to replace your driver's license, to have unemployment insurance there to help people who aren't going to be able to go to work for a while. We're going to try to bring every service under one roof and walk people around because they've already been through too much.
Governor,
Yes, Gil.
I believe when the fiscal year started in July, you had said that there was $2 billion with a B in the state's rainy day fund.
2.7.
2.7. Will any of that money be used in recovery for Eastern Kentucky?
So we're under a state of emergency right now, which allows us to access the rainy day fund when needed. So we have the dollars to respond to the immediate emergency. We are looking at creating a fund. I am looking at creating a fund that would have to go through the General Assembly, similar to what we created in Western Kentucky. They called that the SAFE Act. And what that would do is especially help our counties, our utilities, and our cities that are going to have really huge expenses that they're going to have to pay up front. We don't want to bankrupt any community, and we don't want to raise anybody's rates from their utilities for the amount of work that's going to have to be put in. Listen, my commitment is we're going to find the money. We're going to find the money to rebuild and repair. My biggest worry is for folks that uninsured, underinsured, no flood insurance, private bridge that they probably bought the property and it was there, where I worry about the cost of replacing just that bridge even before what we have. it's going to be a tough process. We're going to do our very best for people.
Governor, you mentioned speaking with the president about hopefully getting a little more people approved for that FEMA relief. Just speaking to people in Eastern Kentucky, they're worried that they might not get approved for that funding. If that happens, what then?
Well, we're going to work first to get as many people approved through FEMA as possible. The Red Cross also has a separate process that people go through, though the amount of money is significantly less that's available there. But we're all going to have to really think through how to help folks that have lost everything. And even when you top out at FEMA, even people who qualify for the whole thing, that's not going to replace everything they've lost. And it's going to be a challenge we're going to be dealing with moving forward. But we want to get everybody through that FEMA process. And we've all said it's too complicated. It is too complicated. A lot of that's Congress and the shackles that they've put on FEMA and their expectations in terms of no fraud. But it's got to be better than what we've seen, and we have a commitment that it will be.
This year, you know, we've been constantly saying we're days away from the worst of it. 37 people
Yeah.
now, unfortunately, lost in this. How many, do we know exactly how many are still unaccounted for and how we're going to move forward with that process?
So we've lost 37 Kentuckians, and I know of at least 2 more bodies that are being processed, if not more. I think all of us up here believe that we're going to be finding people for at least the next week. I mean, some of these folks were found more than 2 miles from where they were swept away. I want to thank folks that have come from all over the country to help us speed up that process. We have more help in looking for people than we ever thought, and that's people living their faith and values that have come in to account for family members. Thankfully, we're finding a lot more people okay than we're finding bodies. We've done over 1,000 wellness checks just through the Kentucky State Police, and most everybody we're finding. We're still worried about a number of people, but having a firm count of how many people are unaccounted for right now is just too hard. The Kentucky State Police are whittling away at those that have been called in to their post. We still have some that have been called in that we haven't found, though.
Governor Bashir, one
Yeah.
more question, please.
Sure.
We heard a lot of stories about loonies and scammers. Is the state going to do anything about the increased penalties or how to report any of that stuff?
Looters and scammers that would prey on people that have lost everything are the worst of the worst. Absolute scum of humanity. The fact that people would come in when everybody's already lost anything and try to take away that family heirloom is sick. It is gross. And we've got to make sure we prevent it from happening. And hey, if they've never been in these parts and they're caught, we have mobilized the National Guard. We have more than 300 active right now. We are activating more Guard to work with our state police and our county officials on patrols. Our goal is to reduce, if not eliminate it. But I would say to anybody who's thinking about coming in and doing that to our people, yeah, you ought to worry about law enforcement. You ought to worry about these people's neighbors too. We stick up for each other.
Governor, a lot of people have seen the images on TV, seeing what's happening here, but can you talk to us about the emotional aspect of seeing it first?
Seeing the damage firsthand, seeing the spot where those kids were swept away, looking at the little plastic swing that we had for our kids too, knowing none of those kids were older than 2nd grade, and that their family was working so hard to try to make a better life on them. That place they'd moved to was the best place they'd ever lived. They'd moved to a school district that has shown successes, and now that family has lost all 4 kids. The violence of what this water did is indescribable. House is just gone. Nothing there, and we don't know where they are. Houses that are now part of a bridge that we're having to pull off. I saw a car the other day that had been split in half, and half of it was in a creek bank. I mean, fully into the side of it. It is emotional, it is difficult, and I want to say to folks out there, it is okay to not be okay. No matter how big and strong and tough you are, when you need somebody, lean on them. If you need to cry, do it in front of anybody. Lord knows I've done it enough in front of everybody. We love each other and we're there to help each other. It's okay to lean on folks for help. And for those that have lost everything, especially those that have lost family members, let us carry your grief just a little bit. If we can pick up just a bit of it and carry it for you, we want to do that. All right, thank you all very much.